All right, guys, it's October 2018. Happy Halloween. We're going to take a look back at what happened in September 2018, as well as where we're at year to date. So the first 3 quarters of the year, where we are and what it all means. First, we'll talk about what's going on overall in terms of both residential and condo, and then we'll break it down to each side of the either residential or condo world. So overall, number of units sold in September 2018, we sold 1,393 both homes and condos. Compared to last year in September, we'd sold 1,383. So only 10 more properties, which accounts for a growth rate of 0.7% number of units sold. But the money has seen a significant increase in September. The average price of a home and condo in Ottawa this month, at the end of September, was $408,055 versus last year, same time, was $382,120. That's a growth of almost 7%, 6.9% growth in the average price of a home and condo in Ottawa in the month of September. Okay, if we look at what's happened so far year to date, so the first 3 quarters in 2018, we've sold 14,287 properties, both homes and condos, compared to where we were last year at this point. At the end of September, it was 13,831. So that's a growth of 3.3%. Okay, if we talk about, again, we talk about the money, we're looking at a total of 408,954 is the average house price as of the end of September 2018 versus as of the end of September 2017, the average house price was 393,888. So that's a growth that we've seen in terms of average sales price in the city of 3.8%, which is pretty amazing, okay? Things are going well. Now, if we break it down into the residential side alone, and we don't focus on the condos, we're looking at a total of, for the month of September, 1,046 homes sold versus last year, in the month of September, we sold 1,073 homes, okay? So actually a reduction in the number of homes sold for the month of September, okay? Big factor is there's nothing to buy, there's no inventory, and the stuff that is available for sale is vastly overpriced. And what we're seeing is exactly that. The price is going up, okay? The average price of a home in September in 2018, $449,613. So for all intents and purposes, $450 was the average price of a home in Ottawa, okay? Versus last year in the month of September, the average price of a home was $416,574. That's a growth rate of 7.9% as far as the average price of a residential property goes in Ottawa. If we look at where we're at year to date, we've sold 11,035 properties versus last year, at this point, we'd sold 11,005. So only 30 more residential properties sold in Ottawa so far in the first 3 quarters of 2018, a growth rate of 0.3%. So there's not a lot to buy out there. There aren't a lot of residential places for people to buy, and that's why we're not selling as many. Now, again, the money, we've seen the money increase for these first 3 quarters. The average price of a home now in Ottawa, residential property, $447,427 versus last year at this point was $425,143. And if we remember back to this time last year in 2016, it was $400. So we've seen another $25,000 jump as far as average price of properties in Ottawa goes. Okay, that's a growth of 5.2% so far year to date on the residential side. Okay, now if we shift our gears and look at the condo side, well, hey, people can't buy residential homes because they're getting too expensive. So more people are buying condos. So what we saw last month, in the month of September 2018 on the condo side, 347 condos sold versus 310 in 2017, a growth of 11.9%. And what we're starting to see is finally that growth rate and the lack of supply and the increased demand is starting to drive prices. Okay, the average price of a condo sold in September 2018, $282,781 versus last year, the same month, the average price was $262,866. That's a growth of 7.6% as far as the money goes, the average price of a condo goes. That's really good growth. We're finally starting to see it, okay? And you can see that those numbers are a lot higher than we've seen so far year to date. Year to date, we've sold 3,252 condos versus at this point last year, year to date, we'd sold 2,826 condos, okay? So we've sold 15.11% more condos in 2018. So we're selling a lot more condos, but the average price so far year to date has not seen the growth that we've expected based on the low inventory and the high demand. Okay, the average price of a condo in Ottawa at the end of September is $278,401 versus last year $272,176, a growth of only 2.3%. Now, when you compare that with the growth that we're seeing in the month of September at 7.6, I think that's setting a new bar for the average price of condos. We're going to start to see at the end of this year the average price of a condo going up, which is great for people who own a condo. Again, it's going to make it a little bit harder for people to get into condos. So if you want to know how all of this affects you, whether you're buying, whether you're selling, whether you're buying a home, selling a condo, buying a home, any of that, and then how all of that matters with regards to the particular neighborhoods that you're looking in within the city, call me for a personalized strategy session. Me and my team would be happy to sit down with you and discuss what that process looks like. Of course, the number is always 613-314-3187, and until then, Sty Fire out.